I hope you're well. So today we're going to look at Ellen Greenberg. Ellen Greenberg was found, her body was found on the 26th of January 2011. I believe this case is trying to be reopened. I understand, I'm telling you what I know so far. It was in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. And she was a teacher. She was born in 1983. So what now? She would have been about 40. But at the time, what was she, about 30 or a bit less? Her fiance, Sam, this is where I get Sam from, was, and if you don't know what I meant by that, just forget it, catch up with the readings, I guess. And it's a bit horrific, to be honest with you, because when you think of the story, and I don't know all the facts, to have 20 STABS wounds, some in the neck, some in the back and in the chest, you're going to be like, what on earth, seriously? So when this case was come to me, you know, I didn't know about it then. I didn't know about it until about 2 weeks ago. And then obviously when I click on a thumbnail, I think it was Nancy Grace's thumbnail, where the parents were trying to reopen it. It was ruled, I believe it was ruled at first, please let, if I don't have this right, I believe I've got it right. It was ruled as a homo, then it was ruled as a self-exing, and the family were fighting for it to at least be undetermined. Obviously, that's for many reasons. Now, the fiance has never been proven guilty or charged. She was found at home, and a couple of things here, when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, I can't come on camera, Spirit, and say it's obvious, because a lot of people are going to be thinking 20, you know, let's just say insertions is obvious. And it was kind of like, think about it. So I just left it, and I thought, let me do the reading, but then I didn't do the reading. And what I understand is that beyond the obvious, obviously, it's not totally impossible to reach those areas. It's very questionable. I haven't seen the trial. I've only seen clips of stuff. What can be ruled in this, and I don't know if this is a ruling, but you know, it's just about downloads with me, is that they could have ruled it as hesitation insertion. So you know, when you want to do something but you've got a lot of nerves and you're really hesitating, so there's only like, so what I'm trying to say is the insertions were, some of them were not that deep and some were a bit deeper. I don't know how many were actually deep. My jaw is locking again. I got my jaw locked in the last reading, and there's a lot of dark energy at the moment, to be honest with you. A lot of dark energy. I feel it, and it's impacting me quite a bit. If you're dark and you're thinking, if you're dark and you're listening to this, find the light, okay? I don't mean it in that way. I mean it that people seem to be just, I don't know, it's kind of like, we'll have an argument and let's just, I'm not saying this is what happened in this case. Oh, it's gone too far. Or, you know, I'll just get rid of someone because I've got a girlfriend, or whatever it is. It's kind of like, it's insane, some of the stuff. By the way, did any of you, and this is probably where the energy has been, has anyone seen the recent Sean Finnegan trial Oh my goodness. You have to let me know in the comments. She was a teacher, and on that day, on the 26th, I believe they went to school, but they were told they can come back early because the weather conditions were going to be bad. I presume snow or wind or something. It's January. The dates are very interesting. So I definitely get with her, the impact around her growing up is a lot around community and also her childhood. Now, when I look at her dates of the alleged 26th of January, basically 2011, the alleged, when they believe it occurred, there's a lot of fast movement. There's a lot of communication. So I would say this would be also arguing. I've not got into the read yet. Going back to the hesitation marks and the things that are not necessarily as obvious, right? Think about it. One thing that stood out to me was, would you really do an insertion on yourself through your clothes? I mean, obviously it's difficult to know unless you've been there, to puncture the skin, how much force it can take. Like when you're doing it in hesitation, it probably takes quite a bit, but imagine clothes and then your skin. That did not make sense to me. Like, why would you prolong something like that? And I'm trying to be careful. So that's beyond like the 20, what they say, and the areas it was done. I can't also fathom why there'd be 20 like that. Like, it's absolutely beyond me. So the clothes, and then also, I also get, there was one, I have to look at this, one particular, so there's definitely one or two that was a lot more inserted in the areas, but there's one also not in the back or head, possibly a bit lower down, maybe the stomach or something, or the abdomen, something like that. There's one that sticks out. And so think about it. Why would you try and just do it all over the place? You know, that one there, what is that about? That's really random. The other download I was getting is that with her, I was getting from her, and it was coming through, she was ready to be channeled, and I kind of stopped it a little bit. I'm happy to channel random stuff, but at the end, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll just leave it there. All right. So she was like, it wasn't okay. I wasn't okay. And she was changing. I feel like they, you know, there was talks, even though they were engaged, obviously people, if I say there was talks of marriage, you might say that's obvious, or, you know, you might be very familiar with the case and be able to validate me. It's like the Delphi case. No one's validated me, but I've looked into a couple of stuff ready for the next part if you're up for it. Like some of the things I said about him being in, the way he was being treated, apparently that's come out, and he's been moved from the place he was held, the jail, to another one. No one really confirmed that, and it's not necessarily your position to do that, but I've looked into that to really feel like, why did I push on that? And the reading's not got much views, but then the channel is small, so it's about getting the videos, the name, the channel out in the algorithm, because there are, like, I don't know if any of you are a fan of Mr. BEAST. I mean, I haven't looked at the channel, but what I understand it covers doesn't sound very beneficial. Anyway, so she was changing. There was something about, I'm going to go into deeper in that. I thought this was going to be a quick read, but I knew it wouldn't. I was going to do a missing mother and wife case, to be honest with you. That's just come on my radar in America. from, I think they may be Indian, all right, Mamta. I don't know how to say her full name. And I was thinking all day what read I should do. I think like there was, the talks of the marriage was very soon. So it wasn't kind of like they're engaged and they're settled for a few years. No, it was coming up to getting ready to get married. And so there might have been like talks of the wedding, but I also feel like she might have actually got pregnant prior. Maybe she lost it, maybe it was early stages, not announced, you know, when it's still not showing, but the pregnancy will show that you're kind of pregnant, or she did prior, something around that. But I don't feel like she was always talkative about everything, but she was very warm and open as well. But there's something around that was coming through. So that's that. So there was staggered insertion depths, I think. The other thing that I was getting is, so I definitely think the LE have messed up for some reason in this case. There's something wrong, okay? And I also believe that the door latch was said to have been locked from the inside after Sam had left to go to the gym. Some people say he was down there 2 hours. Some people say it was 45 minutes. And that's from different thumbnail clips of crime podcasts that are supposed to provide the facts. So again, I am not sure of that. It's two discrepancies. And I think it was believed to be around 5, or he was back up at 5:45. He couldn't open the door. He went to the security, brought the security, and then they banged the door down. Again, I feel like there's a bit of a story there. Did the security actually help bang the door down? So there was proven closure of the latch. But I feel like had they investigated the way the latch would have been broken or pulled a bit, they might have been able to understand whether it was done from the outside as opposed to from the inside to show it was damaged. I don't think there was any possibility that this could have been kind of like, what do you call it? I don't think this was a possibility. I'm getting him like it was done prior and then the rage went down to the gym, but I want to confirm that. I don't get the possibility that the door could have been latched, and if it is the person inside with Ellen, so her fiance, disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only, please use your own fact finding, I'm only here, whatever you believe, entertainment purposes only, just leave it, I just want to leave it at that. What I meant is whatever you believe, if you believe in my readings or whatever it is, please use your own fact finding and discernment. And the disclaimer, full disclaimer is always in description box. So Sam could not have entered or exited from the house. And it's interesting, I didn't even confirm if it is this person. The other thing, I just don't understand why it would be done, but I feel like it might have been a bit of a rage. I've tried looking for his date of birth because I wanted to look at his dates as well, but I couldn't find it. I think one thing that might also be what the defense might have said is that had she had been allegedly attacked by someone, whether it's, and I don't know what his story is on how this, or maybe as it was it was exing herself, but there was no kind of like, there was no, well, I can't get the words out. There was no, I see it, but I can't talk. This is really interesting. I see the word, I want to say defensive, but I want to say it in a way that, do you know, there's no fighting back. There's no kind of scratches or proof that there was any fight back should it have been attack. So I think that was something else, as well as probably no DNA. But I do feel like there was like clues that would indicate this looks a bit wrong beyond the 20 insertions, if that makes sense. Let's just check this is working. So at the moment, nobody's in jail for this, but obviously if this gets opened, we could see things going in a different direction. I don't think it's getting the publicity so far that they're probably hoping for it to get, but I don't know if they're still appealing to try and have it opened. I can't imagine these parents fighting for even just an undetermined thing. I also feel like her mental health and she was changing. It was kind of like it wasn't okay, I wasn't okay, and it was kind of like showing me that she was changing. Like, I wonder if her weight also fluctuated, not to chubby, but she'd lost more weight and it would go from slim to a bit slimmer at times. And there was definitely a battle a bit with the mind, and she felt herself changing and she couldn't understand seeing, like she could understand seeing herself change, but it was kind of like, do you know when you see yourself changing but no one's celebrating it? Like, it's not, for example, if you lose weight, it's lovely to hear if you've been trying to lose weight, oh, you've lost loads of weight, you look great, okay? And you feel great, but then when no one's actually validating it with you, and they're kind of like, you're losing weight, it's not really suiting you, but you feel good about it. Some people are not strong to stand in what feels good for them. And I think she was starting to change. And I want to pull cards before I say this for some reason. Okay, I'm going to just ask that question again. The card I wanted didn't come out to confirm what I'm saying, but I think it's more about herself as opposed to love for him. And when you feel like yourself is changing, has anyone been there, by the way, where you've been in a relationship and you're changing and you love the person, but it's kind of like, it's not allowing me to be me. It's the most difficult decision you kind of need to make. But I don't feel she was feeling connected and feeling what she was battling. And I do think that nobody really knew that at one stage she fell pregnant, or she was something around that. So there could have been a possibility that the love for him was changing, because I got the card on the second time. That could be positive, negative. Obviously, I feel like it was a bit more disconnected. Okay, the love from him for her was not changing, but they seem to be bumping more heads. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of substance taken here. There was something of the past that he could not get over in this. I am not sure what it is. I think he was also a bit confused because he felt like she was changing. Something was really haunting him. Like I wonder if he was a bit paranoid about, you know, she was changing. So I wonder if he was feeling a bit paranoid. Like, what is she getting up to? Is she doing other stuff? What is happening? I feel like he was a bit confused at the same time. Too many cards. I'm going to take them back. It's interesting because one of the cards I wanted was this. But I said it's too many. Oh, there's 3 and 3. So I do think there's a I do think that at some stage he might have questioned whether she was talking to someone else. But there's something that wow. So within the last 2-3 months, he either thought about it, but if not, he did this, okay? He did it. So because I've asked for the last few months, which takes us up to this, right? So see, a lot of paranoid energy here. And I do think there was a bit of mental health issue. And we get, there was some form of healing. So maybe she was on some kind of, they were both very stressed, a lot of anxiety in the relationship. One of them might have been taking some kind of like, do you know, like antidepressant or something. And also, but there was still kind of like wanting to work on it and trying to heal oneself at the same time. Someone couldn't get over the past on that day. There was talk about money as well. Someone wasn't feeling in their best energy. Remember, I said on the day I felt the numbers vibrated like an 8 of Wands, which was fast communication, fast action, and patience was needed. A lot around money here. You know, leaving work, being at work, leaving work. Fiery temper, rage, okay? Fiery temper, rage here. An imbalancement, okay, of, I think there was talks of money, okay? And there was definitely talks of, you know, kind of like how much someone's given to the relationship and how much someone isn't given to the relationship. I do feel like there was a bit of a heat already before something happened. Very kind of ego-driven energy here. Very ego-driven energy, and sort of like you're not seeing my worth kind of energy. An argument around that is coming up as well. Or some kind of discussion, someone doesn't feel seen, as well as something that happened in the past that one of them can't get over. Or, you know, bringing up the past of maybe a past person in their lives, you know, that used to treat differently, something like that. I don't know if anyone was, you know, past relationships or was married prior, but there's fear, and there's also disloyalty here. So I think there was a discussion also of someone possibly having an extra relationship, the paranoia around that, whether it was happening or not. But there was someone just being an absolute D-I-C-K. Three of Swords. It was heartbreaking. It was, you know, do you know when you have an argument about something stupid, but you know you both are going to end up talking again? This is an argument that was heart-wrenching, that was just like, it's probably going to make or break. There might have been some text messages or something that came through that kind of also triggered it. And I feel like she might have spoken to her father that day. And I think there was an energy of maybe a discussion around her father or her parents, and he didn't quite like that. He didn't like that, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe some of you might know if they've got a timeline, or if we hear of a timeline. They did have a discussion. There was something of a discussion about their her father or her parents, or it mainly is around the father as opposed to parents. So I don't know if she was speaking to her dad about something, and then she approached him, and his ego was dented, you know, sort of the manlyhood was dented. You know, kind of like, don't you think that I could protect you, or I'm your fiance and stuff? Like, what do you mean? Maybe I'll get more on that. I just want to check imprudence. I'm getting that word come through. Imprudence. So there's definitely imprudence. So if someone wasn't being very fair in this situation at all, they were just emotionally not being mature, they were being very unfair here, and it's to do with the, you know, the discussion with the father. I don't know what happened there. Did she want to, I don't know what the 26th is, but did she want to go to her parents' house to visit them, or stay a weekend or something? But yeah, not fair energy, not seeing the outcome of the possible actions that are being taken. Very controlling energy that on the 26th, I'm asking about the 26th here. So I do think it would have been the same day, okay, if that was ever doubted. Well, we can check, but there's definitely a big argument on this same day. But from what I feel in terms of the blood, it's not necessarily questionable that it happened prior to that day, which is the 26th, I believe, of what they've got. So I think they've got the dates right. There's, like I said, immaturity, just an immature, not seeing things in the right way. What happened is also a lot of it's very hidden, and regardless whether it's a prosecutor or defense, not everything is being told here. Can you remember how I said I do think that she got pregnant at one stage? This could be, you know, when you've had sex and you have your pregnancy test just so soon that it's not grown, it's not showing, it's not months down the line. All right, something is there around that. I don't mean that was the reason, but then there was a tower moment on that day. Okay, there was a tower moment. Let's get this deck so we have more cards. The need for patience. We got temperance earlier, the need for patience and balance. Yeah, the tower moment was a kind of rushing in, rushing out kind of energy. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised at one stage she was kind of held, like tied in some kind of way. But basically, either way, she felt very stuck, and also very, she felt in some way she was monitored. Controlled, and there was this thought about how a relationship should be, or maybe there was even thought of like you shouldn't get pregnant prior to marriage. There was discussions around marriage, and she was thinking whether he was going to be the right person to marry. Like this whole thing about the marriage, having that pressure was starting to be questionable whether it was the right timing to do this. A very tunnel vision in terms of thoughts as well. I'm also getting with this that he might have like, there's a comparison to like, do you really think you could be a wife or something like that? And then again, but I also get that she said something like that to him, do you really think you could be a husband, when it started flaring up. I have to put that card back because I didn't ask the right question. So we know definitely that there was, you know, this used, this thing, okay? We've got it here. Like I said, I think she said something back to him. There was communication happening between them. I think there might have been a bit of, there could have been a bit of threats, but I don't think, I think what she said back to him could have been not what he necessarily wanted to hear, or de-escalation. And he's also then got in the same mode of very kind of cold words and bitter words to each other. then what happened to her at the home was all of it is kind of lies. I don't think it was planned to be done, by the way. I don't think it was planned, but this is she did take some of these near the heart, all right, and then, you know, it's kind of like picking up the pieces of the extras that shouldn't be there, you know, to really show that it was just, I'm getting that it was two main ones of these that would have caused the main bleeding. I'm trying to be careful with my words. I just wanted to ask a question, but then I got two questions, so I want to put it back. Because suddenly I'm diverted back to the, you know, the way she was approached was very much in a very immature manner. A very immature manner, not like really childish. There was a lot of just babbling in this situation going on. And then I get him clearing up some of what was happening. But some truths are known in this case, because this is not all hidden. So there are truths that are known, but there's two main things that have not been picked up on that need to happen for him to be picked up on. And that could be the latch assessment. It could be a couple of things that I mentioned. So I do get a confirmation it was him, okay? Because some people might say it's not him. I do get a confirmation it was him. We needed to do that. She was struggling and no one really understood, even though maybe she spoke to her family, etc. But I don't think she felt like anyone really understood. Okay. Someone wasn't satisfied in the relationship anymore. It's kind of like an in and out kind of heat, passion. Maybe they got together and they were like, you know, it was very much a clicking in, do you know, a heated relationship at the beginning, but then again, she was starting to change. There was definitely an argument about either her having a, you know, probably becoming pregnant or something like that, or with her parents and a discussion. And originally I got with the father. I'm also getting with the mother now. So maybe I do feel like she told her mum to just stay out of, maybe her mum was saying maybe you need a break or something, why don't you come over? And I feel like it's not that she didn't take it, but she was telling her mum, can you just step aside a moment, I will, not that her mum was there, but stay in the background. If she'd ever told her mum anything, that they were having a bad time or she was struggling, can you just stay in the background, don't speak, I'm going to handle this. And then there was communication, absolutely. There is definitely something of someone holding on to something from the past. And I wonder if there was in the past also an ex, you know, like a one-night stand or extramarital relationship or something around that, you know, or someone's past, like they used to sleep around or something. That could have been a bit of the argument. A lot of the communication is hidden. We don't know what happened. No one knows what happened. It will only be those two. And there are still secrets in the case, including why he did this. I feel like he found out also that she'd had discussions with the mother. There could have been, you know, long-term discussions around the money, the marriage as well. She just really wanted this new, she just wanted her, like, this whole home life to be like her 10 of cups, okay? There was a new beginning. He was kind of, there's some sort of new beginning here. I do think like he got some attention somewhere, and that could have also been impacting her. I think he was getting a lot of attention and recognition for something. It's interesting, I pulled this deck, and while I was pulling it, I felt like this deck really worked well with this, and it was kind of like, I don't know, do I listen or do I just go with the new deck because I've not shuffled? So I don't think this was premeditated. I do get a lot of stress from them both though, a lot of stress, and some of this stress was not, it's what they both know, it's still hidden to date, it's not known. A lot of fears as well involved here, and I think that was really, really impacting the whole situation. I saw the devil in this deck, and it's interesting. Spirit is telling me to dive deeper into this. So I'll see if I've got time to. I wonder if he's got married or he's met someone, all right? Because that is coming through in his current energy. I feel like he is currently kind of waiting to see what this outcome could be in the current energy of, you know, in terms of what's happening. I've just remembered the other question I wanted to ask, actually, which is why I asked this question. But the other question is more important, because I think there was an F up, all right? I'm not sure if he's doing as great health-wise, because I think money-wise he's fine, but there's a heavy burden here, a heavy load of responsibilities that he's feeling currently, and it could be that he's getting ready, that he might need to have a defense lawyer again, which is gonna take a lot of money, and they're not sure, he's not sure how he's gonna do that. Wow, three major arcanas. He is really set on making sure he stays strong, and if it comes to it again, that he gets the victory, and he's able to balance the whole situation in his strength and also what is hidden. I feel like there's a true element of him hidden, and I wonder if he's actually a Capricorn. But there's kind of like, I mean, it happened in Capricorn season, did it? Or is it just going into Aquarius? He might not cope so great with this whole thing brewing up again. And it might cause issues in his current relationship. I get strongly he's already in a relationship. It could be married. He's with someone at this moment in time. Let's just quickly ask the next question I wanted to ask. There's definitely been injustice. So I asked about the whole thingy of changing from H to self-Xing. Definitely an injustice that's been done here, because I was getting strongly that there is been an F up by this. I also think somebody might have effed up, and they might transfer it, or they might have transferred it to another county sheriff's department to look at it, just because one person did F up or something around that. Someone at the crime scene at the time might not have reported something they did, and this, now if this is brewing up, they might have decided actually another county sheriff's department needs to look at this because it's too close to home with this person and we don't want to put them kind of in the limelight. So I get something of the past was not done at the crime scene that should have been done and could have helped this solidify the justice in the case, and there was definitely injustice in the case. So it looks like there could have been things that picked up on to sway it into a direction of actually questioning a guilty party. There was some kind of happiness here with this. It was as if like when this thing was missed and the injustice, it was kind of like it was I don't know how to say it. It's supposed to mean happiness through tarot, but to me it means there was some kind of victory for someone, obviously, because things were missed, all right, that should have been picked up on. And it caused injustice. Someone effed up as well. And it's just caused someone some happiness. I mean, I don't get in his current energy any heartbreak from it, but I do get that he might not cope. I feel like it's a very self-obsession of making sure he wins in that last read. I knew that was going to come out. And the Temperance again, but we're going to put it back. Yeah, so definitely something missed. There's more than one thing missed. Effed up in what happened to her. I am also getting, you know, what I mentioned about the insertions. And here also a lack of duty questioning from the investigating. You know, when they take the people to investigate, there was a lack of that happening, like true professionalism in that. And it was kind of like someone was getting away with it, and there's a mask there covering the truth of what someone did, which was very heinous and horrific. And it's kind of rage had taken over them. I'm going to end this here. And that's what we have on the Ellen Greenberg. Obviously, we might cover more as the if it comes to light. But this is what I have for you. And somehow it should make sense. Take care and bye.